Hi, this is Sue from Think Forensic. Today I'm interviewing Annie Robinson, a forensic anthropologist, and Annie is going to tell us a little bit about her career choice to date. So first of all, you are obviously into forensics. How did
Yeah.
you get involved in forensics in the first place?
So right from being at school, I think the my favourite subject was science. But I think when I got to sort of year 10 and 11, I didn't really have any idea of what I wanted to do. Then when I left school, I went off and did a few various other things. And then I came back to it and I thought, I really liked science at school. I wonder if there's any areas that I could go into that are like sort of up and coming at the moment. So I did a bit of research on it, and this was before all the science sort of TV shows got popular. And I ended up thinking, forensics seems like a pretty up and coming area, and it seems like something that I could be really interested in. Along with me liking science at school already, I thought that might be quite a good combination. So I started researching a couple of universities to see what I could get into, and also having a look what they cover at university as well. And I just found it so fascinating right from the start. Every area of forensics, I actually loved it. I thought I'm never going to be able to choose one area to go into from here.
So which university did you choose?
Eventually, I chose to go to Sheffield Hallam University. I'm actually from Sheffield, so that was quite a local choice as well. But I didn't, because from school I didn't do any A levels or anything like that, so I was pretty limited to what I was going to be able to do. And I remember messaging Sheffield Hallam University, sending them an email over and saying, look, I'm interested in your forensic course, but I don't have any A levels. Is all I've got is GCSEs. Is there anything that you could do? What could you recommend? And how could you sort of help me get into what I'm wanting to do in the long run? So they said to me, you could come back. By this time, I was 21 years old and classed as a mature student at 21. They said to me, you can come back and you could do what we call a foundation course. So on the foundation course, you sort of cover a bit of maths, biology, chemistry, physics, sort of all in 1 year packed in. And that is sort of equivalent to your A levels to get you back up to speed before you go back into your full education again. That for me was the most difficult part of it, to be honest, because I'd had quite a lot of time out of education. I left school at 15, and then when I was going back into education at 21, it was so difficult to actually get back into it. So that year for me was probably the hardest out of all the years that I've been at university.
You chose Sheffield. You obviously did you live at home while you were at uni?
No, I didn't. Even though I'm from Sheffield, I thought I wanted to get the full university experience and I wanted to move out. So that's what I did. I moved into student accommodation and I started my degree. I actually loved student accommodation. I loved my student lifestyle, everything about it, like the whole thing. It's not just the university; it's the whole atmosphere of everything that really did it for me.
So at 21 years old then, how did you fund yourself through university?
Because I already had a job and then I started university, I actually continued my full-time job all the way through university. There's student loans that are available and there's maintenance loans that are available as well to people who are just starting to study. Um, but I decided to take a lower maintenance loan and try and fund myself. Therefore, I won't be stuck with as much maybe as the debt that there is at the end of it. So yeah, I worked a full-time job all the way through uni. I actually worked two jobs while I was there. So my main job while I was at uni, I was actually running pubs. And then I started doing at night time, I did promotions for nightclubs. So I remember sometimes I'd get in from my promotional nightclub job at sort of 4, 5, 6 o'clock sometimes in the morning. And I'd be up for uni and ready for 9:30. And then I'd finish uni, and then I remember sometimes even finishing uni and then having to go to work at my pub job as well in between. So it was very, very tiring for me, but it was so worth it.
Can't have been easy.
No, no, it wasn't, but definitely worth it now.
Yeah. So you got your degree in forensics. Then what
Yeah.
did you do?
So when I'd finished my forensics degree, I thought I'd just have a look round, see what sort of jobs were available. And a lot of the jobs that were coming up were lab jobs. And I went for a couple of lab interviews and I thought, I just don't really think this is the exact job for me. So I went for an interview with the Ministry of Defence Police, and I just tried a few different things to see where sort of I could fit in within the forensics. But after that, I decided to go back to university and I wanted to do a master's. So I think when you specialise in a certain area, I think you've got more chance of actually getting into what you want to go for. Um, and I was always really interested in entomology. It's sort of been my thing from being younger. As soon as I started my forensic science course, I thought, that's it, entomology, I want to study insects. And when I went in and I got accepted for my master's course, and I did one class in forensic entomology and I knew it wasn't for me. And it was so disappointing because that's what I built my whole forensics experience around. I thought this is exactly what I want to do. So that was a bit difficult actually. That was a really difficult time because bearing in mind I was already on my master's course then as well. So I had to decide pretty quickly what I wanted to do, if I wanted to stay on that master's course, if I wanted to swap over, how much time I wanted to give it before I thought, this is really not for me. And yet luckily I ended up being able to change over and go over to forensic anthropology, which is what I ended up doing for my master's.
Okay. So how long is it since you qualified?
Qualified in 2017, so three years now, just over.
You're getting an old lady now, Annie.
I am, feel it.
And what use have you put it to? What do you do now?
So when I actually qualified, I'd not even graduated from uni, but the day after I qualified, I got called out to my first forensic job. So that was actually crazy. I'd not even fully graduated. I'd literally just got my qualification. But I think being thrown into the forensic environment and it was just, I absolutely loved it. And then by then I knew that what I wanted to do was something more practical within the forensic field. So at the moment, I am working as part of a really big team, a worldwide team that work in disaster management. So there's not really too much that I can say about my job. It's really, really confidential, and we're not allowed to talk about many aspects of my job at the moment. But I do quite a lot of different roles within my job at the moment. So some are forensic based, some are dealing with families, some could be mortuary service. So it's a really wide range, which makes it the perfect job for me because I find that every single day I go into work and it's something different.
That's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So have you got any advice that you could give to our students? If you got one piece of advice, what would it be?
Concentrate at school and get it done while you're there, because me having to go back all these years later was really, really difficult. And if you can get it done while you're at school, if you can get your GCSEs, I'd suggest to be getting your triple sciences and maths as well, because a lot of science is also based around maths. Maths is not actually my strong point, and I had to work really, really hard to get the maths qualification that I needed to take over to my to like sort of my science degree and A levels as well. So I wouldn't suggest, obviously I've just gone and told you all the way that I've gone about it. That's not the easiest route. I would say take the easiest route that you can, get your A levels done, and do it that way. And also when you're going into university and you choose your university, you can get a chance to do either 3 years or 4 years for your degree. I took the 3-year option and I took my placement year out of that because I'd already got quite a bit of experience. I'd done work experience myself in different environments. But that year does come in really handy. So if you're going straight from school, you've got the time to keep that extra year in there and get the work experience that you need, especially with the current climate as it is at the moment. you need all the experience that you can get, whether it's the working in lab work, whether it's mortuary, anything that you want to get that's forensic science based will be a massive, massive help. So yeah, that just take that placement year at uni. Even though a year seems like a long time, take it and it's worth it.
What I should add is that you do work with Think Forensic, don't you? So if anybody does have any questions, they can drop us an email. We'll get through to you and get your answers back to them.